Welcome to this video and my channel. If you're here, you're probably interested in intelligent behavior. What is it? Can we create it in some kind of artificial way? Or what can we learn about intelligent behavior that we can use in our own lives to make better decisions? Those are all great questions, and you've come to the right place because those are exactly the kind of things that I love to research, and if I find anything interesting, I want to share with other people who are curious about the same things. Unfortunately, I don't feel right moving forward until we address some of the negative side. What are some of the unpleasant and harmful things we might come across while learning more about intelligence and hopefully becoming more intelligent ourselves? Whenever anyone explores the unknown, by its very definition, you can't know what you're going to find. Otherwise, it wouldn't be unknown. So what if you discover something that contradicts your cherished beliefs or your essential coping mechanisms that you use every day to drag yourself out of bed and go to the misery that is school or work? We need to ask, are we emotionally prepared to handle information that we find that could attack our core sacred beliefs? Or we could just avoid that, and if we find anything that we don't like, then we can just pretend like it doesn't exist. That's wrong because of reasons. It isn't difficult to find plausible excuses why any information that you don't like is wrong, actually. Sure, once you know something, you can't unknow it, but I have learned never to doubt human beings' ability of denialism. We are so good at pretending something clearly exists or doesn't exist if we want it to or don't want it to. It's impressive, actually. I think self-delusion is truly one of the human being's superpowers. That ability to trick ourselves into not seeing something is impressive, and we all do it because we all see horrible things all the time on the news and on the internet, and we can't deal with it. We can only deal with certain things under our control, and to cope, we have to be able to ignore some of the unpleasant things lest we go mad. But if that is your plan, to deny any new discovery that hurts your feelings, then why even bother? Why even start the search for answers to mysteries if you are unwilling to accept what you will find? It seems like a huge waste of everybody's time and effort to me. If you have no intention of ever changing your mind about anything, well, then it's foolish to spend any of your time looking for greater understanding of the world and better solutions to your problems, because you already know it all, right? If you are okay with saying something like, if I use a rigorous methodology and am certain beyond a reasonable doubt that something is true, then I will accept it, even if I don't like it. That's not bad. I'll keep working on the pledge, but yeah, that's the basics. If you can say that, well, then let's continue. If you can't say that in good faith, maybe come back later when you're ready. Well, you're still here. I guess you're ready. But are you sure? Can you be sure? How can you even say that you can be certain if you don't even know what that information will be? You can't. Let me give you an example. In 1995, the Hubble Space Telescope took a picture of a small, dark spot in space. How small? Well, about the size of a tennis ball 100 meters away. Here I am, running about 100 meters away. Can you see the ball? It's there. It's a tiny speck. That is about 1/24 millionth of the sky. or 1/13 the diameter of the full moon. Pictures of the exact same spot were taken for 10 days and combined, and here's what they got. That's about 3,000 galaxies. Feeling small yet? If not, don't worry. In 2002, they upgraded the Hubble camera so that in 2004, we got the Hubble Ultra Deep Field image that shows nearly 10,000 galaxies. And honestly, I would feel bad if I encouraged you to question more than you are comfortable with and find yourself lying in bed one morning, racked with the meaninglessness of your existence, contemplating how you are just a mere speck in a cold, gigantic, uncaring universe. Yeah, that's a lot to take. So, what do we do to avoid that? That's an excellent question. I don't know. How do we prepare ourselves in case some newfound knowledge rocks our intellectual and emotional foundations? By making sure the other foundations in our life are strong. They say money can't buy happiness, but you know what it can buy? Food, shelter, medicine, clothing, transportation, communication tools. I guess that isn't everything in life, but without food and shelter, you're probably not going to live very long. I wouldn't want anybody to become homeless because of an existential crisis caused by me encouraging them to question everything that they hold dear. Let's make sure that first you have a stable living situation before we get in too deep intellectually. If you live with your parents, then you're all set. Lucky you. But if you're a typical peasant like me, you will need stable employment. Make sure that you are spending less than you are making, and you'll want to have enough in savings to pay your bills for about 6 months if you lost your job. But it's not all toil and misery. We need to make sure that we're also taking care of the most important person in our life, ourselves. Make sure you're doing something nice for yourself every day if you can. We can't always do things that we like, but if you're like me and most of your life is spent doing the things that you have to, you got to pay your bills, make sure every day you're spending some time doing some things that you want to. Eat your favorite food, read a good book, play with your dog, watch trashy reality TV. Play the guitar, go to the gym. I don't know what you're into, but whatever it is, do some of that. What are the things that you enjoy? If you're not sure, it could be valuable to spend some time thinking about it. Don't get out of bed every day for nothing. This is your life. Treat yourself. You deserve it. You earned it. I don't want to suggest that you should only do things that are fun. The best decisions take everything into account, positives and negatives, short-term and long-term, the best cases and the worst cases. If you are only choosing to do things based on what feels good in the short term and ignoring all other risks and costs, you probably aren't making the best decisions you possibly can. Admittedly, sometimes those really good decisions can take a long time to pay off, and you need to find a win right now. I don't think that's so bad. I'd say the third foundation, the third pillar of a solid life of a person is their friends and family. Healthy relationships are a critical part of your support system. In theory, they could be a great port in a storm, lending a sympathetic ear and a place to crash if needed. Again, in theory, are you supporting your friends and family by listening non-judgmentally and offering help if they need? Because if you're not, why would they do the same for you? Maybe you need to improve your value in your relationships by not being so selfish. I don't know you. I'm just guessing. I'm just saying if this is the case, maybe you need to be a better friend and family member. But of course, are your close friends and family listening to your whining patiently? And do you believe that they would be there if you were in need? If everyone in your family is self-absorbed and unsupportive, that sucks. If your friends are too, then maybe you need to find some better friends. You're part of my support system, aren't you? You know what? I'm going to be more valuable to you. I'm going to get you a treat. Come on up. Thank you. Very helpful. One of the... all right, I'll get you a little more. All right, one more. Ooh, look at the size of that one. All right, that's all the treats you get for now. So one of the things about being good to your friends and family and dealing with uncomfortable truths is that they probably don't want to hear about these truths. Don't make your problem their problem. Having discovered some new information that overturns popular belief might be really exciting for you, but it will probably just piss everyone else off. If someone asks, well, then go ahead and tell them, but please don't shove your iconoclastic revelations down anyone's throat without their consent. In fact, that's exactly what this video is about. Many of the things that I'm learning about don't seem to make other people very happy. Trust me, I've been told many times. Behavioral logic has not made me any more popular, and I wasn't popular to begin with. I make these videos in case somebody else is interested, not to force my beliefs on others. You know what? Get your cat butt out of here. I've had enough of you, you camera hog. If I haven't yet, sooner or later, I will say something that you hate. Consider this your official warning. There are some other people that are also at risk of being mad about your new beliefs and information and knowledge. And the repercussions for annoying these folks could be much worse than just angering your buddies. I'm talking about people that hold real power over you. Parents, teachers, coaches, religious leaders, an intolerant partner, the police, your boss, local crime lords, or worse, politicians. You do not want to make these people angry. You wouldn't like them when they're angry. You might not like them when they're happy either. Angering someone who could just crush you in your life is generally considered unwise. You can try to keep quiet about any unorthodox discoveries that you make, but it is hard to completely. When I discover some new fact about behavior or society, it changes how I think. The fact that I'm no longer part of the status quo just leaks out in everything that I do or say. Luckily, I live in the United States of America. Where I can get fired or punched in the face for saying things that people don't like, but at least the state does not officially prosecute me. Which countries do? All governments have laws restricting the sharing of certain types of information, like fraud, deceiving others for financial gain. It's illegal in all the places that I know of. And laws against pornographic or otherwise disturbing images or information are also quite common. Whether you agree or disagree with any of these laws, at least these laws are the form of blacklists. It should be possible to know if what you're going to communicate is at risk of violating these laws. The scarier laws are whitelists. They define what you should say, and any deviation from that could be considered criminal. The most common example of this are anti-blasphemy laws. A good definition I found of blasphemy is 1, the act of insulting or showing contempt or lack of reverence for God, or 2, irreverence toward something considered sacred or inviolable. I like the wording here, lack of reverence. You can be revering toward the local god, but if somebody thinks that you aren't revering enough,
right to jail.
And in the second definition, it says something considered sacred or inviolable. Sacred to whom? I guess that is entirely up to the local authorities. And there doesn't seem to be any limit on what they can or cannot consider sacred. Blasphemy typically refers to the contradiction and questioning of religious beliefs, but there are other types of whitelisted restrictions to speech. For example, the Penal Code of the Philippines does a lot of heavy lifting with this term, good customs. The penalties of arresto mayor, imprisonment from 1 to 6 months, and public censure shall be imposed upon any person who shall offend against decency or good customs by any highly scandalous conduct not expressly falling within any other article of this code. Wow, this is a wide catch-all, freeing the government from having to clearly state what kind of speech is actually a crime. It implies that by simply going against the status quo, you could be sent to prison. It's not blasphemy, it's more like unorthodoxy. I typed unorthodoxy into Google and it said, contrary to what is usual, traditional, or accepted. Well then, by definition, isn't all science unorthodox? All discoveries are unusual. They're not traditional, and they are yet to be accepted. When Galileo was convicted of heresy by the Roman Catholic Church in 1633, there was nothing about the earth revolving around the sun in any of the established religious texts. But the rulers believed it, therefore suggesting otherwise, well, it made them look like they didn't know everything.
Right to jail, right away.
Here's a map of countries that penalize blasphemy. The darkest red areas impose the death penalty on it. If you live anywhere in any of the red areas, I would be very cautious about researching anything that might be unorthodox. If you search effectively and sincerely for answers to as yet unsolved mysteries, the odds that your findings will parrot exactly the established customs and beliefs are basically zero. Even the act of questioning is an admission that you don't think your superiors know everything.
Jail.
By even suggesting that those in power are not in possession of all correct knowledge, you have already committed blasphemy. The scientific study of intelligence and its use, it can put you in real physical danger. And look at this map. Theocratic states have strong anti-blasphemy laws, no surprise there. But the democracies of Europe sure don't look like a bastion of free speech from what I see. Finland? What the hell, guys? Now, instead, if you were living in a country who in its very constitution claims that citizens have freedom of speech, of the press, of assembly, demonstration, and association, I'd feel a lot more comfortable expressing unorthodox ideas there. I mean, I would if I didn't know that that was actually from the Constitution of North Korea. Oh, and look, China, yeah, there's no anti-blasphemy laws there, but still, I'm not sure if I would outwardly question the government. Just because your country claims to have free speech, it's not necessarily a guarantee. So, hey kids, check with your local authorities before you use rational thought to make your own decisions. At the beginning, I said this was going to be a bummer, and I think I delivered. You're welcome. I guess nothing worthwhile is easy. I feel certain that no problem in the world is going to be solved by understanding things poorly and making bad decisions. So maybe it's worth the risk. If you make the choice to explore the mysteries of intelligent behavior and my encouragement of unorthodox ideas causes you to be sent to prison or worse, I'd feel bad. I don't want that. Please, take care of yourself and your families first. But if you still want to study ideas that might be dangerous to your rulers, do so knowing what the real risks are. Maybe it will keep you safe. Wow, you made it through this bummer of a video? I'm pretty impressed, but it's good that we talked about it anyhow. I should have mentioned the upsides to being smart, which are you solve problems better and you're more resistant to people trying to mislead you. Now, you don't have to watch my first video about that. That'll save time. And I want to say, if people stop liking you because of the uncomfortable truths I'm encouraging, I still like you. Seriously. Are we best friends now? If you subscribed, I'd be your best friend. Yeah. What if 2 people subscribed? It doesn't really scale, does it? I still support you anyway, so please take care of yourself and make good decisions.